Good morning. I'm going to start a new project today. I ordered mini black canvases and I'm going to do some stenciling in white, kind of an Annika gray type. And I have some ephemera set aside. This is a recording of a live stream, so if you hear me talking to people, it's people in the chat, and I will upload this to YouTube later. What I've done initially is I've taken an ink pad and stuck it up in the canvas of both so that when you push down on them, there's no give, so that it'll stencil a little better. I'm going to use Traditions Opaque White, and these are a couple stencils that I've made myself. This one's kind of a little bamboo. I just hand cut using a wood burning tool. And this one I cut on my silhouette. It's just a bunch of random circles. And this is just a piece of punchinella. And then I have a couple others I may or may not use. I may use some modeling paste or some iridescent medium at the end. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm going to start with the white paint. And I'm just putting some on a clear transparency as my palette. And I'm going to start over here. And then I'm just using a makeup sponge to apply it. I wanted the unevenness of this top part. I'm not going to worry about the bottom right there. I'm just going to let it kind of fade. And then I'm going to do the whole stencil. I've got them pushed together. And this covers really well because it's opaque. And this one I think I'll take all the way down to the end. I am going to take a little bit of a wet baby wipe here and just get that little piece right there that I don't like. And this little piece right here. Alright, and then I'm going to I'm going to come in here with some circles real quick. And I'm trying to use the little circles. Since these are small canvases, I want to keep the scale or on the smaller side. And I'm not going to worry about if they overlap. And I like to have them hang off. Alright, and then I think I'm going to carry those through over here. can, hang this one off the side. Yeah, I like the movement of that. I think I'll stick a little bit of this in here. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now I think I'm going to fill in some little areas with some punchinella. Or I can get some of those smaller circles. And I went off, so I'm going to and I'm kind of keeping that light on purpose, I think. Not as dark, but I am going to darken this one up a little bit. Yeah, I like it a little darker in some places. I like this kind of a mess right here, where it sort of blends and kind of moves them together. Okay. Trying to kind of almost connect, like you can just imagine that some of this is connected, and I think that's enough of the white for right now. Well, let's set those aside, and I'm going to dry those for just a few minutes. Heat gun. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is, I think I want to carry some of this over onto the sides. Since I have the front dry and I still have a little bit of paint, just so that if the person doesn't frame it, that there's some interest there. So that looks good on that side. Like I said, that'll just carry that kind of over. I'll bring a little half circle that was cut on the edge of this stencil. I think I want to circle over this anyways. Okay. And I'm going to do another little half circle up here. And a little punchinella on the top. Just kind of looks like it was wrapped around. Alright, so that one's good. This one I think I'm going to just put circles. And I'm going to add that on the front. And then just some punchinella. Fade it in some places and heavier in others. Then I'll put it up here. You probably wouldn't see the top, but you never know. Get rid of that little smudge. The other thing that you can do to erase on these black canvases is later on just use some black paint and like a fine liner or a black marker, and you can get rid of like that's too heavy there. So I'm going to remove some of it, of that wet stuff I just removed. And the last little bit, just put some of that bamboo over here. On the side. And some punchinella right there. I think I'll put some punchinella on the bottom. Okay. I'll put those back under it because it'll just help give it support. Get rid of our stencils. And I think I'm gonna back some of that out even more. Okay, set that aside. We'll use that later. There's very little wet paint left on it. Okay, and I'm gonna get my layouts. I messed around with what I was gonna use. And my gel medium. And a brush. Alright, so I'm going to start with just a piece of torn paper. I'm going to kind of put right in here, and I'm going to let hang over on the side. This gel medium's down to the bottom. So you have to dip way down there, and then you're afraid you're going to get too much way up on your brush. Alright, get that wrapped around the corner. Then the next thing I had was, it's like a stamp from a piece of scrapbook paper that I had that had several stamps on one page, and I cut them up and used them over the years. Alright. And I've got a vintage postcard image with a raven, and I want to tuck that under. And put that right there. You can see that kind of blends a lot of my transitions. And then I have a quote. I'm going to straighten that out just a little bit up at the top. And I do think it helps to pre-plan some of this. thing I'm debating is if I want, I'll decide that in a minute. I don't think I want it up here competing with the text. I'm going to let that wrap around the side also. And even if they frame it, it gives it a little more interest. And I go ahead and add a coat all over of the gel medium on my canvas, just so it's got the same substrate across the entire surface, so that if later on I do something to it, hey Vicky, that I'm making black canvases. And so what I started out doing first was I use Deco Art's Traditions Opaque White and a few stencils. Let me set this down. That I had cut on the silhouette or cut by hand. I had a bamboo stencil. This one here that's circles. And I use the smaller one since the canvases are so small, and punchinella. And then I'm just adding the ephemera on the left canvas. They're going to be a pair. So I planned them where they kind of have they can hang side by side. I tweeted that I was on, but I don't know if anybody saw it or I didn't see anybody else on. I know Sarah's going to come on later, I think. But I'm not going to be on very long. I just wanted to work on this first set of the black canvases. Alright, so we'll let that dry. And I think I want to put this piece of pattern with this number right there. And usually when I put tissue on, before I touch it with the gel medium, I give it a little squirt of water. And it just helps it lay down. And that piece is going to just wrap over on the side. And then I'll stick it on the back. And I stamped, not stamped, but carried things over on the side and stenciled on the sides of the canvas, just to give it interest in case they're not framed. Yeah, I do that a lot. Sometimes when I don't have anything to do, I'll just check my following list and see if anybody's on. It's not always on Twitter that I find it. Alright, and so let me find the next picture and get that little pile of stuff. So, but I recorded it so anybody who's not here doesn't see it. And I have 3 more sets of these to do. I just started with the smallest one today. This is all I've done with the black canvases, but I thought they were intriguing. All right, so I have another piece of leftover. These are all just little leftover bits that I have from other projects. I tend to hoard all the little tears that I make that I don't use because I think, oh, I'll use those in another project or card. So I've just put it in my basket of scraps. Okay. This is going, trim that. And then my quote is from a music book, and it really didn't have anything to do with the song itself. It just says, wonderful day like today, and I thought that was good with the nature subject. All right, and then, so I'm just using, I had laid it out with my cell phone, and I'm just using that to kind of help me remember how because I played around with it before I stamped the canvases, but I kind of had, like, in my head how I wanted the canvas to flow as far as the stamps, not stamps, I keep saying stamps, as far as the stencils go. I have another little one of those stamps. And after it dries, if I think I need it, I can come back in and add more bamboo or stencil work, like the circles. Yeah, I just really liked, it was Annika Gray was the girl that I saw on Pinterest. And I just really liked the concept of it's all neutrals. It's always a black canvas, and it's whites and then pops of ecru. And I like to add a pop of color. Hers usually didn't necessarily have a color. I just like that pop of a color on it. And I think on this one, I'm going to lift that butterfly up real quick. And I'm going to tear just the edge of that so it's not a cut edge. And I think I'm going to run some of that underneath. Can't see all the words, but it's not really. No, they're for an art show that I'm going to do on the 18th. The first set I did that were big were personal, and I did them for when we were moving into our new house. So I'd have something new to hang in the dining room. But I thought they would sell well, and that they were something different than what I already have in my inventory. So Mike's had them on sale, half price, in sets of 2. So I think I figured like the most I paid per canvas was like right at $3 for the biggest one. So I thought that would be something interesting. All right, and I'm going to tear this again so it doesn't have that. And I think I want to put just a little bit right here. These little, I like these little circles that are on it with the lines. And I'll just wrap that around. Alright. And I think that I'm going to set that one aside. I think this one needs maybe something similar right there. Just sort of maybe even overlapping on that butterfly. Turn that off. I think that balanced it a little better. Okay, let me put that in the water. Close that. I think I want to dry them real quick with the heat gun. Alright, so the next thing, couple things, is I'm probably going to come in here with some black and clean up some areas and put some black back in. And the other thing is I have another stencil, and I thought about just putting one little pop on each one somewhere with this stencil. See if you can probably see it better if I lay it. Well, no. It's kind of just a little flourish, and I thought it might be interesting to do either a modeling paste that's tinted, or I have an iridescent medium, and I'm tempted to use the iridescent medium and just tint it with some Lindy's Magicals from the Industrial. And I either have a choice of a Time Travelers, which is a teal, or a Steampunk Sepia. And if I want it more subtle, I could go with the sepia. But if I want to pick up the color in the butterfly, I'm not sure what I want. I think that the sepia may not match, so I think I'll go with the teal. And I'm just going to take a little bit of the Magicals which is in a powder, and just add that to it. And I'm going to work this in to tint that till I get it a color. Now it will go clear and glittery, the white part. I think that's pretty good. All right, I know I like the 3 dots up here, so I think this first one on this one I'm going to put right up here. And this is a little thinner than a traditional modeling paste, so I'm possibly going to get it under the stencil. Okay, so let me set that aside. And there's this got just below it, but I'm just going to blend it out. And right there too. And I'm going to wipe off the back of that before I use it again. I think I'm just going to put one there. And then one here. All right. Again, I just clean up any little Alright, I'm going to let those kind of set up and dry. Too much of this to let go to waste. So I think I'll find a piece of it's just a jelly print that kind of got, I don't know, I don't like it anymore. I didn't like the way it came out. This is just a different stencil I had set to the side. Hi, Janet. I am working on a set of black canvases today. And I was using up the extra iridescent medium that I tinted with Lindy's on an old jelly print. But it's real thin, so you have to be careful. It goes under the stencil. So I'm just trying to use up the extra paste, and then I'll show you the canvases. You can probably see them in the screenshot. All right. And I'm going to do that again right here. What I'll probably do with this, since it's just a jelly print I didn't like, is cut it up. So I'm not going to worry about if it's a little messy, because it's really kind of tone on tone. I'm just trying to use up the extra. And what it was that I used was Liquitex Basics Iridescent Medium. I thought when I got it, it would maybe like help make regular paints look like. Oh yeah, I had a hard time getting on. I tweeted and then I didn't think I was going to get it to go on because it just didn't want to load. But I thought I'd just go ahead and come on, and I'm recording. Let me get rid of that and clean those up. So like I said, that's just a jelly print that I don't like, and that'll dry on there, and then I'll do something with it later, cut it up, use it somehow. Alright, usually I don't have a sink in here, so usually what I do is spray these. And make sure that I've gotten the majority of the product off. It's not a modeling paste. Like I said, it's really thin. But I don't want it to dry on the stencils. And because it dries kind of like a stickle. Or a puff paint, kind of. Okay. And what I put in it was the Lindy's Magicals, this time travel from Lamore Weber's industrial set. Whew. Now my stencil is glittery. It just sparkles. So I'm going to set those aside. Alright. And get a few of these things put away that we're done with. And I'm going to get out some black paint. There's a few places here that the turquoise is migrated faintly, but I actually don't mind it. And I know I want to work on this corner right here, and I think I want to lighten this up a little bit, but I'll have to be real careful. And I think I want to put a couple circles. So I'm going to get back my white. Paint. And I have another sponge. And this is Deco Arts Tradition, the carbon black, which is opaque. I'll put just a little bit there. I'm going to give me a small brush in case I feel like there's a couple places right in here where this was a circle. And like I said, you can just use the black as a cleanup and kind of a subtractive. Like if you have little white spots that you don't like, you want to reduce the stamping, some of the stamping that you did. Like down here. I don't like all, I think I liked it better when it was just the bamboo. So I'm just cleaning up some of the overlap, places maybe I got white paint splattered. I do need to be careful of the iridescent medium, that I don't put something in it. All right, now I am going to come back with the white circles, because I think I lost too many of my circles. All right, I gotta move that so it doesn't get in it. I'm going to come up here. I think I need some more white. Come back up here and hit a white circle in there. And I'm going to try to put one right here and wrap it around. I'm going to put one hanging off right there. And I'm even can overlap my ecru elements. I'm going to flip that up and let it finish on the top too. It's not as neat on the top, but like I said, I don't really care. Well, that one didn't, I don't like that one. One, it may be too big. So let's try a smaller one. I'm not going to worry about the top. I'm just going to hit it. I may have moved it. Yeah, I like that better. And I think I'm going to put one down here, hanging off the edge. And you can see where I got a spot over there. I'm just going to hit that with the black. And some of my red on my stencil must have come off over here. Get rid of some of those. I think I'll get rid of those right there. Okay. This has got a little pink in here and a little pink that's come off my stencil. I'm not sure I actually care. I'll try to minimize it a little bit. up here at least. It's still there, but it's not as vibrant. Same down here. In fact, I think no, I don't like that on the. I thought maybe carrying it over the butterfly, but I don't like it. Okay, so that minimized the pink. I don't mind that there's a little bit that's come off. Alright, again, this one's going to need some of the circles back. I'm going to start over here with this circle. And take it off the butterfly. And then I want a smaller circle. I think I'll do a smaller circle right there. I'm almost done.
You're gonna make that cornbread one.
Honey, you're funny. After I'm done,
People need to know how I'm being treated here.
all right. Let's do some cleanup. Rid of that. It's not as many places on here. Not sure that circle coming underneath there does any good. And I think I will darken that white right there. I like those that way. I think this needs at the bottom just something like just in case it's not framed. Just removing some of those lighter colored punchinella circles. And I think I'm going to come in here too on this one a little bit. Put back some of that black. And then I think that might finish them up. Other than determining where I'm going to sign them and what I want to use to sign them. Probably a white gel pen. Get rid of that. But you can get a little bit closer look at the finished product. Can be hung either side by side or staggered. But that's it for today. I thank you for joining me. Have a great day.